Hello and welcome to Black Money Daily, economic news from our point of view. We release a podcast every weekday at lunchtime, so don't forget to subscribe. And now here is the news. The 2020 election sees record high turnout with at least 159.8 million votes projected. Around 239.2 million Americans are eligible to vote in 2020 according to the U.S. Elections Project. The projected vote total marks a record high number of ballots cast in a presidential election and the highest voter turnout rate among eligible citizens since 1900. No winner has been called yet in the 2020 presidential election as key states continue to tally votes. But people are betting big money on the election. That's right, because more than $1 billion has been wagered on the 2020 U.S. presidential election. It's a betting record. Legal wagers on the election are not offered through any United States sportsbook. According to the offshore sportsbook betonline.ag, the election has exceeded the Super Bowl in dollars bet, and it will be the biggest decision in the website's history since the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor boxing match in 2017. Florida has voted to raise the state's minimum wage to $15 an hour. Florida voted yesterday to gradually hike the state's minimum wage to $15 per hour, joining a growing list of states and municipalities to take this step. The 2020 election ballot initiative garnered the 60% support needed to pass, according to the Associated Press. Florida becomes the 8th state to approve a $15 an hour minimum wage and the second most populous state to do so. The measure would increase the state's current $8.56 an hour pay floor to $10 next year. And then for every year after that, the minimum wage would rise by $1 an hour until it hits $15 in 2026. Today's show is sponsored by the 10K Project, and we are all about the Black Family Wealth Challenge. It has begun. It includes a 7-week masterclass about little-known wealth building tool, resources, and more. So to learn more and join the challenge, visit FamilyWealthChallenge.black. That's FamilyWealthChallenge.black. Equity crowdfunding grows up with a new $5 million limit on regulation crowdfunding or Reg CF offerings. Businesses from microbreweries to football clubs to electric vehicle makers and mom and pop shops have made use of regulation crowdfunding under the Jobs Act, which created pathways for small and mid-sized businesses to crowdfund capital from everyday investors. Now the Securities and Exchange Commission has approved amendments that increases the offering limit from $1.07 million to $5 million. The amendments open significant new opportunities for businesses to use this capital to recover from the current economic crisis and to launch innovative new products and services. Since Reg CF went into effect in 2016, more than 2,800 companies in 50 states have raised more than $500 million. Comcast funding for businesses is now open and they are accepting applications. Between February and April of this year, 41% of Black business owners have shut their businesses nationwide. Comcast has cited a recent study when it launched its Representation, Investment, Strength, and Empowerment, or RISE initiative last week in an effort to boost struggling Black-owned businesses that may be stuck in survival mode. RISE aims to boost small, BIPOC-owned businesses with grants and in-kind resource donations and training over a 3-year period. Those include a media and technology resources program to aid businesses with their marketing and media campaigns, as well as tech makeovers in the forms of upgraded hardware, software, and internet service for up to a year, online tutorials, and grants up to $10,000. Comcast used NVER information to structure its phases of giving, with the first round of applications open to Black business owners and the next open to other members of the BIPOC community as well. Applications for the quarterly program are assessed by a third party. The applications do not need to come from Comcast customers, but must operate businesses in Comcast coverage areas. For more information and to apply, visit comcastrise.com/apply. That's comcastrise.com/apply. Uber and Lyft have seen an increase in their stock prices after Californians vote to exempt them from state labor law. Voters were deciding on California's Proposition 22, a ballot measure that Uber and Lyft were using as a last hope in the state to continue operating as they currently do. The proposition would allow drivers for app-based transportation and delivery companies to be classified as independent contractors in many circumstances. While that would disqualify them from benefits granted to employees, the measure also entitles drivers to new benefits like minimum earnings and vehicle insurance. The companies, both Uber and Lyft, had warned ahead of time that any increased costs from the decision would have to be passed on to customers. Our final story today is about Amazon. They plan to double the company's Black leadership over the next 2 years and ensure inclusive language in software coding. The e-com giant said that they are working to double the representation of Black vice presidents and directors in 2020 and again in 2021, and make increased investments in programming designed with Black leaders from within. The spokesperson from Amazon also said that the company will require diversity, equity, and inclusion training for all employees, and that Amazon has made a commitment to ensure inclusive language in software coding by eliminating phrases such as blacklist, whitelist, or master slave, among others. And that is today's podcast. We'd love to hear your comments about the topics of the day. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend or two about Black Money Daily.